Good morning, everyone. I'd like to give you a second lecture about the happiness. Martin Seligman, as I mentioned before, he insists, how can we become the happiness? Because of the negative thinking by the brain, we need to change our life of the think with a positive. His name is Wisconsin Professor Richard Davidson. He talked about happiness is a habit. It is like a golf and tennis. If you practice golf and tennis, and you are going to play well about golf and the tennis. Same is like this. The happiness. If you practice many of some happiness life of condition, you're gonna be happiness. So he talk about happiness not come from the heaven. It is a human effort to accept the positive, what happened, things in daily life. So habit is of the happiness, engineering and formulate. Happiness is that it looks like golf and soccer tennis. So if you practice every day, you feel happiness and then you are joyful. So what is the condition of the habit of the happiness life? From now on, I'd like to introduce. Well, he's one of the professor. He experiment of the students. He divide the group A and group B. First, he showed the Mother Teresa document, the movie to the group A. After the watching of her dedication life and sacrifice life to the people of India, and many of the students inspired. Then he took out many of the students' pipe in their mouths, and he researched with a microscope. He found that there are strong immunity in the spite after watching a positive movie. It means good feeling affect the people with a positive. And then also he challenged another terrible movie. He's showing the terrible movie to the students group B, and a horror movie and a war movie. And then many people, they feel very scary. They feel depression. After the watching such a terrible movie, horror movie, war movie, criminal movie, he took out the spite of the student in the mouth. And then also he checking out the spice in the spice, how much immunity is working on with a microscope. Then after the watching of the horror movie, the people's students' immunity is going down. Is not strong immunity. He found it. It means in daily life of our 천일국 citizen, we watching the good, we hear the good news, then our happiness and then raise up, and our life of joy is raise up. And then this is another experiment. His name is Chris Peterson, Michigan psychologist, university student, professor, insists. He tested 500,000 people for 3 years, and then he found it. Those feel unhappiness, then their thinking all the way is focused on their weak point of the characteristic. But those are the happiness, they are focused on their strengths of the characteristic. So he suggests when you try to feel happiness, you just focus on your good strengths or characteristic. Do not focus on your weak point. So we have some cases. Right side of the young guy who wear black shirts, and his name is Mark Ford. Actually, his family is broken. His father and mother is divorced, and then his father persecute him, Markov, and then he going to be very tough. Finally, he tried to suicide by himself after killing of his friend in the school. The campus police founded his plan. That's why his plan frustrated. and then community of the teacher in the Straight Heaven High School, and how can solve this problem? How can they educate Marco Offord, who tried to killing the people? Then he made it that their community of education made it man-to-man education to change his Marco Offord. Then he analyzed his characteristic, and then they raised up his strength point. Fortunately, Mark Offord is very activity person, so teacher led him to the playing soccer, playing American football, then raise up, admire, compliment his characteristic. Then he gradually changed. Also, woman teacher softly he give her caring about him, and he feel the mother love, and the Mark Offord change his characteristic. Then after the 1 year, he changed completely different students. That's why one of the condition to feel happiness is focus on the strength point of your characteristic rather than weak point of your characteristic. This is one of the condition of the happiness life. So according to the Rochester Institute in America, they found it, our human, when we are feeling good, you can try to smile. If you laugh, your face is must affect the brain, your brain, and your brain temperature going down, then your brains make the endorphin, then you feel good. This is what Rochester Institute get the result about when people are smiling. So before you going out the home, you try to see the mirror, the smiling, and try to the better feeling with the positive. Forming of a smile move your muscle of face. Then the exercise give a stimulation of the brain. Your brain provided endorphin. That's why you feel good. If you don't want to be smile, and then you try to the chewing gum, chew the chewing gum, and when you chew the gum, and your muscles move, and then your brain is going to be positive. This is another way if you don't want to be smile in the front of the mirror. Another condition I suggest, writing of gratitude daily life. For example, after taking over the Reverend Jung's happiness life, this is God gave us some message. This is one of the gratitudes condition. Before you sleep, you can write, and then your diary, and then you remind, how I gratitude, how I thankful to God, and then you can focus on the good thing happen and gratitude thing happen in daily life. This is one of the raising up your happiness and joyful life. Compared than depression, bad thing happens. Well, somebody asked me question. Reverend John, if you got a car accident, how can I say the good? How can I gratitude to God and spiritual world? Well, I said, still your life. Even you got the car accident, you broken your injured your physical body. That's still you're alive. You're not dying. That's why you need to saying to God, still I'm alive, thank you. Because of your ancestor made a mistake, that's why you pay indemnity. That's why you got a car accident. That's still your life. Then next, you can wait some blessing and the fortune. I'd like to read this True Parents' word, the 천성경 message, True Parents' word, happiness. No one in history was able to call out the name of true parents. They never even conceived of it. But today you are in the glorious position of being able to call their name, know them, and attend them. So you are in a happier and a nobler position than anyone in history. God can once settle in the place where human beings join a virtuous union, where their human heart and heaven's heart are joined to the 90-degree angle. From that place of the fortune spring and the flow, and the world eternally happiness and blessing bring. This is what your parents talk about. So we are already blessed. We know everything about the spiritual world, purpose of human life. For example, if you die someday, don't worry, you're going to enter the kingdom of heaven because you have received the blessing. You're already chosen by God and your parents. So this is the ultimate, our final solution. Death is not ending. Death is not finish of your life. Death is another spiritual birth. You're entering of the kingdom of heaven in spiritual world. So trust the true parents and practice the true love. Practice living for sake of others. Such a basic, the true love of life. And then you die, then you can go to direct the kingdom of heaven and spiritual world. Thank you. I will give you a lecture after this. Take a break.